Thank you so much for the very warm welcome and the very illustrious introduction. I really appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here speaking with all of you. I'm going to talk to you about the future of building successful products, but I'll start with my journey into tech as well. So I'm Vero, short for Veronica. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the director of product at Dyspatch. We also have a product called Send With Us here in Victoria. And you heard a little bit about my background, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. So we'll do 3 things today. How did I become a product manager? What is a product manager exactly? And then I'll tell you my thoughts about the future of building successful products. So let's get right into it. How did I become a product manager? It starts here at UVic. I went to UVic. I have a master's in art history, which I describe as having a degree in looking at things. That's what I tell people in interviews when they're like, how did you get into tech with a master's in art history? I didn't even know this job that I have now existed when I was in university. It wasn't until I found my path into tech. There are many doors into tech. This one happens to be mine. I heard of a little dating website in Vancouver that had 18 employees. And I joined as a customer service rep. And as the company grew, my role grew as well. So we localized the site into 5 countries. When I joined, there were no apps, and we launched an iPhone app and an Android app. And after 5 years, I really learned the ins and outs of the tech industry, and I knew I wanted to stay but do something different. So I joined a wearables company in downtown Vancouver, a little startup that was acquired by Intel a year later. And as you see here, this is me wearing what was called the Recon Jet. Sunglasses or glasses that you wear when you're cycling or running, and it had a little LCD screen that would tell you your activity tracking stats. So kind of like Strava, but right in your eye as you're riding. After a couple years of that, I knew I wanted to move abroad and live abroad for a couple of years, and Berlin was calling. And one of the things I loved about product management, and that I still love, is that it's a job that's really portable. You can do it anywhere in the world, in almost any industry. I've changed industries every time I've changed jobs. And so I moved to Berlin and worked for SoundCloud. This is the SoundCloud office. It's right in downtown. And as you can see, it's on the Berlin Wall Memorial, where the city used to be divided between East and West Berlin. This is called the Factory. It's a co-working space / tech office that's right at the border where the memorial is. And I worked with creators, helping them make money from their art. So features to make people listen to them so that they could meet people with whom to collaborate, figure out how to get their integrations with tools so that they could upload directly to the platform. But the West Coast was calling. After 10 years in Vancouver and 2 years in Berlin, I decided to move back to Victoria. I have family ties here, and I heard about a little startup called Dyspatch and Send With Us. So at Dyspatch, what we do is we help you send better emails if you're a company. So there are 2 big categories of emails. One is transactional. It's like the stuff you want to receive. Forgot password emails, shipping confirmations, the stuff that you definitely don't want in the spam folder. And our premise is that we also want to help you send, if you're a big company, send emails that people might want to receive. So let's say you get a newsletter. Let's make it look good. Let's make it contain information that people actually want to receive so that it doesn't get into spam, so that your recipients get people they want, read, and then you send them things so you can keep sending them emails. So that's what we do. We also put on an event called Startup Slam every year. I know some of you might have been there or heard of it. So what's a product manager exactly? Let's do a poll, shall we? OK. So the question's pretty simple. Have you heard of this before? And I'm going to disambiguate between product management and project management. But have you heard about product management before? OK, so like yes-ish around the map. OK. OK. Let's go to the next slide. Whoa. Yeah. OK, so what's a product manager exactly? What we do is we help figure out what should we build, for who are we building it, why are we building it, and how will we know it's successful. And this could be for features like an unsend button in Gmail, like a new integration for a DJ app. It could be for a new character in a video game. All of these questions are what we're working with the teams to answer together. So we collaborate as product managers with all the other teams in the company. Some of these are roles that you've heard of, some of them not. But essentially, our job is to work with everybody in the company to answer those questions. Let's do an exercise together. You've heard of this app. I saw it in the poll earlier, so no excuses. There are 2 big companies here, or 2 companies here. One of them is really big. It's Aritzia. You've probably heard of it. And the other is a local startup run by one woman that builds silk scrunchies. So what I've circled here badly in this very bright green is a new icon that showed up, I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago. And it's a shopping cart icon, right? It's like an add to cart. Why do you think that they've added this in Instagram? So let's say you're shopping online. What did you do before? You're like, wow, I really like this Aritzia dress. I guess I'll go all the way to their website. 7 clicks later, you've completely forgotten about Instagram. You're in this new browser. You're opening up the product to look at buying it. Instagram decided, well, let's just make it easier for people and save them 27 clicks, leave them right in the app so that when they've made the purchase, decided to purchase it or not, they click one thing and they're back into the app, right? So for Aritzia, sure, they're a big company. Seems good to do this. But think of how much this helps small companies, right? Where there's one person running the company. And those 27 clicks to get to their website and figure out the product that they wanted that they saw on the page. Think of what a hurdle that was to get to their page. So if you're a small business, this is a huge financial boost for you. This is the kind of thing that we think about as product managers. So the future of building successful products. It's thinking about things like that. So how do we help people make more money? How do we help small companies succeed? But I think of successful products, the definition, as products that are indispensable. That means users love them. The reason you open an app is because you love it. It's making something easier for you. It's more fun. It's saving you money. It's saving you time. And users are willing to pay for them. When you find things that you love, you're willing to pay for them, whether it's Netflix or subscription to a magazine, something like that. And the most successful products, in my opinion, are going to be built by teams that reflect who we're building stuff for. So in this case, if you're looking at Instagram, we need people who have sold things before, but we also need people who understand different backgrounds, different countries, and how people shop in the world. I'll give you a few examples in a moment, but first, I want to do a poll. Pull out your devices, and let's go to the next poll. Which of these careers do you think you can pursue with a career also in the tech industry? And I picked a little list here, but there are so many more. OK, very interesting. Writer's not doing so well today. OK, all of the above is the clear leader, with lawyer being a clear second. OK, let's go back to the slides. I think you're all right, but all of the above is probably the best answer, and this is what I'm going to challenge you to think about. So think about nutritionists. If you've heard of Blue Apron or any of these meal delivery services, they need nutritionists to put together meals. Lawyers are intrinsic to every tech company, especially if you're a music streaming service and you need to make deals with the major labels, or you deal in an industry with regulation like banking, or you're building cars that have smart tools in them. You need lawyers to make sure that information is handled properly. Writers didn't do so well in our poll, but they're essential to everything you see in mobile devices and websites. So it's not just writing blog posts and writing copy on a landing page. Whenever you're navigating through a menu and you're trying to figure out settings like, how do I disable data? How do I make this, how do I get to all these little settings that I need? That's somebody who's writing out the copy to try to make that actionable and clear, and keeping in mind that people for whom English isn't their first language are going to be looking at this. People who are, might be dealing with blindness, who knows, right? Okay, sociologists and scientists are both on staff at period tracking companies or apps like Clue. They happen to be based in Berlin. And I like to think that teachers are the future of taking learning online and making it really accessible with massive open online courses. MOOCs, companies, or universities like Stanford and UVic both have these big open courses that are free. So the answer is all of the above and more. And one of the great things about today is that all the breakout sessions give you tech examples from so many different industries, from aviation to medical devices to VR. I think the breakout sessions are going to be really exciting for you. So the future of building successful products requires us to think cross-functionally, for experts from all kinds of fields and backgrounds to come together. That means not just people who know how to code and not just people who are subject matter experts in business. It means people who know a lot about a specific domain to make sure that the product that's built is really resonant for the people that it's being built for. People from various disciplines coming together. So that's cross-functional teams, because cross-functional diverse teams perform better. So I'll leave you with this thought. Join tech and help us change the world and build the next generation of products that are going to answer some of the problems that we know we have today. There's no limit to what you can do. You just have to pick your idea and bring forth and come work with us. So join Keyboard Cat and I and everybody else, and have an amazing day.